It's okay. Game number 3 is going to be TBD. Mundo against Napkins in Disguise. And we're on to the Rift. We're going to see what they want to do. And if anybody wants to go for any aggressive invades, you'll get us through that, studio.
Well, I actually can't see anything. My game's still loading. But
okay, it's no problem. I'll do it. I got this.
Well, with Annie, Morgana, and Elise, and Lucian, at least in all that really, really high level 1 damage for everybody on Napkins in Disguise, like, it just doesn't stop. They probably want to go aggressive. Probably want to look for something.
As they are rotating towards the red, like you said, they're going aggressive, looking strong. Drop 1 ward out there, as it was the only ward that Hyolyn had, so they will look to maybe look for a play on the red buff. There is a binding that connects onto Arthelon. No Sonic Wave for NubbypoohBear, unfortunately, so some auto attacks from Salce will suffice, and he will be forced to just walk on back out of there. Hyolyn getting 1 auto attack on the turret, and will take a turret shot for himself, and just skip right on back out of there, as Annie just doesn't care.
I mean, look, man, that is efficiency. If you look at the overall damage done to the turrets, that is a whopping 15 damage that auto attack Annie at level 1 did to that turret. Compare that to the damage that TBD is on. They're getting destroyed in terms of turret damage.
Yeah, and BrokenShard gonna get scouted out by NubbypoohBear right there, but Sonic Wave to the face and he backs out. So gonna go for a safe blue start here, as well as a blue start for Wapachang.
That's actually something that goes way, way back, like when the game was first in beta, and there were just some theoretical, like, efficient things you could do. And it's like, if you don't see the enemy by their mid-turret, theoretically, and this is all, of course, not true in reality, you could auto-attack it for extra damage. And if you die, it's okay because no one gets any gold or experience, and you take the turret down a little bit lower so it's easier to push. The problem is that it's stupid. It's that you just take a bunch of damage and you'll probably get first blood anyways. And it's one of those funny things. I think Kiora just saw the chance, like, might as well go for an auto attack, and you could have actually baited someone into a first blood. But it was just funny to see that actually happen for once.
Yeah, and as we look around, it's going to be a lane swap here. NubbypoohBear are going to go into the bot lane, gets that Sonic Wave Resonating Strike combination onto ROBERTxLEE, but gets caught by a Glitter Lance here. Auto attacks being just destroying him, as just a few more would kill him. He pops his potion, as he actually has multiple, because he did go back to base, so he uses one of these 2, and will try to sustain back up. While Westrice, he got some XP from blue. Going to be looking for a very fast level 2, as he is, let me check, actually, about halfway level 2 here. Yes, he's actually more than halfway to level 2. And up top, the push is still progressing. He's going to look for probably Slice and Dice and Cuddle the Meek to clear out that wave, as he does hit level 2 there. And 1, just getting the auto hit. There we go. Slicing and Dicing, Cuddle the Meek, heals up, and just shrugs off the damage that they're throwing at him.
And this is rude from TBD to put NubbypoohBear in the 1v2, and they're sending via gank him. So NubbypoohBear is not an experienced competitive top laner necessarily. He has focused on mid lane, and you don't get 1v2 experience reliably in solo queue. So now with the fact that Nubby's at 2/3 HP, there is Vi in the area. He's gonna have to give up this turret, lose a bunch of experience, and he's gonna be so far behind. Luckily, NID, they're not gonna let their NubbypoohBear fall behind on his own. They're gonna try and punish Renekton as well.
Yep, so mirrored starts from both sides. Going to see who takes the tier 1 first, but it looks like it's going to go in favor of, as I look up top. Theirs is about half, theirs is below half, so it's going to be looking like a early turret for both sides, so Napkins in Disguise will get it first. They do see Westrice over the wall. NubbypoohBear are still getting poked out by Glitter Lances, Hell Picks, and everything galore, and the turret is about to fall as there's the last 3 range minions beating into it. And I lied, it's going to be TBD grabbing the first turret, as I thought they would not be out-damaged by a Lucian passive as well.
Unfortunately, I think the Spiderlings did go down for Wappa, so that's a lot of turret damage being lost. And Wappa was actually doing something really funny. He was spamming, I think it was his laugh, in between auto attacks, knowing that he had like that brief half second or so between the attack animation starting up again. The turrets pushing hasn't stopped for TBD though. I don't know what that sentence was. The turret pushing hasn't stopped with TBD.
5-minute inhibitor coming through here, maybe? Once again?
Maybe.
Yeah. Like that fun complexity game that we saw? Looks like they're going to give it up. So
also roaming stops it all, unfortunately.
Yeah. What a buzzkill right there. Just not letting us have some fun with 5-minute inhibitors going down. But now TBD looking to rotate up. They have a really early pink ward placed at the blue buff, so they know it is clear. And Salce gonna run into something he would not like to run into. There is a Vault Breaker, there is the Spell Shield, as it's gonna be a flash auto attack from BrokenShard. Can he get the kill? He needs one more, and it's gonna be the auto attack from Bubbadub for the first blood. BrokenShard gonna get taken down as well, passing over the red buff, and now the chase on Bubbadub completes, as Frostlicious on that Lucian gonna chase down with a Relentless Pursuit, Flash Tempest, Cripple from NubbypoohBear, as well as all attacks being laid in. It's gonna be the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike for the kill, as well as ROBERTxLEE following this, a Cocoon from the change from Wapachang now. Looking for Arthelon, he's gonna flash over the wall. Is the pursuit up yet? There's Repel over. Oh, he does not get in range, and that'll be a 3-for-1 in favor of... Yeah, Napkins in Disguise.
Nothing else picked up by TBD. They were able to get Salce very quickly, but the thing was with Morgana, like, alright, they got the initial damage on. They did have a lot of physical damage coming out, but Lulu's DPS was negated quite a bit, and some of the brief magic damage that Lucian can put out from his W was also stopped. Or not Lucian, but actually it was mostly Lulu's damage. That damage that Salce did not take from Lulu's passive in the glitter
Wow, he came in from the respawn and Smite stole it. But now he's going to get taken out by the red buff. He's going to get chased. He's going to try to do anything to Wappa, but no, he cannot. And BrokenShard. So good. But now Arthelon teleported behind them and found Wappa Chang and took him out.
A very, very confusing play. I mean, that was just great timing coming out from BrokenShard, able to get over the wall and pick that up. But the teleport from Casson, they knew that respawn timers were short enough and that BrokenShard was going to get to the fight quickly enough that he could have actually backed up the team. So they go 1-for-1, they pick up the dragon, they equalize the gold and actually give a slight gold lead to TBD. Well, it's going to be the start of a really bad situation because they were going to pick up that dragon gold and everybody was going to survive. For NID is definitely equalized out by both the Casson and kill and that dragon steal. So just overall great play from BrokenShard. He has those smite timings down, and I think Wappa, I just don't think he expected it. That was a very, very sudden.
He came out of nowhere. I saw him spawn. I was like, where is he going? He's just running straight to the dragon pit, and then bam, stole it. I was like, okay.
Got it, and like you don't expect it. You don't expect people to rush back like that, even though it makes sense. That was a very early dragon, and those are a bit less predictable, a bit harder to control. And what's the result? Well, BrokenShard's able to get back in there and get that smite, and the experience is huge on that too. So BrokenShard, even though he has died twice in succession, really, it doesn't matter that much because he got a lot of experience from that dragon pickup.
Yeah, and we do see as BrokenShard kept making his way up top. He's at level 6. We're maybe looking for some pressure as Westrice to get 6. He's been up top for a long time and currently 23 out 25 CS over his current opponent in NubbypoohBear. So he caught up a lot and also took a huge lead against his respective 2v1 partner.
His 2v1 buddy, but that 2v1 buddy did spend a lot of time, and the gold difference is only about 60, so that's just experience lead for Westrice right now. However, that's huge for Renekton. He has that experience lead. He can keep applying pressure until NubbypoohBear reaches level 7, level 8. Level 6 isn't his huge level. The kick is nice, but mostly for setting up a gank. Westrice is just going to have control of the lane. He needs more lifesteal from Safeguard. He needs to be able to survive and sustain in lane.
Yep. And down bot here, stun discharge up for Hyolyn. Binding connects in mid lane. Salce has blue. Not going to look for it because the simple Rift Walk would completely stop the Morgana ultimate. Those bindings are very easy to get out of, especially now with the range indicator. So we'll see if that comes into effect in these few fights, if there are any major team fights. And are we going to expect a early Zonia's Hourglass for Salce?
I mean, they could go for it. That would be the normal thing, like the normal build on Morgana. The only issue might be that there's a lot of mobility from TBD despite the slow from Morgana's limit, so they can still maybe get out of bad situations. You know, Vault Breaker, Slice and Dice. Actually, another biting onto Arthelon. However, trades quite efficiently, but those auto attacks and those minions are going to beat him up a little bit more.
Yep, and down bot, we do see a force flash from Hyolyn. We do have the Whimsy on a BrokenShard. Is he going to go for the Assault and Battery? There's no turret there to stop him. This Vi going to go in and look to arrest Annie as the Boomerang Blade connects. It's not enough damage. There is no Glitter Lance to follow up for the slow. He dodges the Vault Breaker. Auto attacks coming in. This movement speed buff from the passive from Sivir is not enough to get in range, so it looks like she will escape her sentence as now the Repel comes in from Wappa Chang. He cannot get onto BrokenShard, but will be content with going on ROBERTxLEE. Is forced to cleanse away from the Cocoon, and auto attacks from Wappa as well as red buff going to net them that kill. A beautiful counter gank from GGLA Wappa.
I mean, Yoren's, he's got the jukes, he's got the move, able to barely get out of that last Vault Breaker, which would have picked him off. Now Arthelon just rift walking at the last second. The problem is, for TBD, they're just chasing too far. Like, alright, you've got a lot of move speed from Sivir, you've got a lot of, from Bubbadub, as actually Sivir's not level 6 yet. They can't really go for these super long extended chases, expect to get out safely without any sort of backup from NID until they get that Sivir ultimate, so it's a little bit unfortunate. And now they're losing their bot turret, at least taking a bunch of damage on it as a response, and it's another kill going towards NID. They've got the kill lead. They are equaling out the lanes. You can see NubbypoohBear up top lane is hold a lot of that CS difference, so it's going to grow quite a bit as Renekton has some free time with the lane. But like lanes are more or less equal, and these kills are keeping NID, like giving them a lot of pressure and a lot of control.
Very much so. A ton of control coming in. That dragon coming up in a minute and a half, so could see if BrokenShard starts it this time instead of trying to steal it away blindly, which she did. And we do see the sweeping lens coming in, clearing out a little simple little ward. 5 gold for both players there. There's one pink ward alive towards that dragon pit that will maybe get walked over eventually. We do see Salce farming the Wraiths and looking to go back to mid lane while up top. NubbypoohBear has caught up. He was down 25, he's now down only 21. So slowly but surely coming back into the lane.
There are more minions alive for him. He can sustain quite efficiently. Not going for the lifesteal build, so this is tanky Lee Sin, which is a little bit different, a little bit unexpected. However, NubbypoohBear, he's going to have some friends coming up to visit him. We've gotten a lead.
Oh, jeez. 3-man gate comes in, Rift Walk, Null Sphere, everything to slow him down. It's going to be a stun as well as a Vault Breaker. He kicks Westrice out of the turret range. He drops the Ignite, but it's not enough. Now Wapachang going to be their next target. Can they get him, though? Is Slice and Dice available? Is the stun ready? They're just going to focus the turret for a little bit. Rift Walk in onto Wappa. He's going to repel, go towards the range minions, but gets stunned by Westrice. Flashes away, the Null Sphere connects. Flash Excessive Force comes in from BrokenShard, and they take down that kill. Now the chase is on Salce. Assault Battery comes in, but he just, black shields it and gets right on out. Flashes with the binding connecting on a BrokenShard, and that is going to be the end of that one. A 2 for none, and as well as a tier 1 turret falling on the top lane for TBD.
Excellent tower dive from TBD. That moment where Elise was there, Wappa could have easily been focused down and tried to survive with the repel, with the turret damaging down Arthelon and Westrice. However, they stopped attacking for a second. TBD took a moment, just attacked the turret, and they knew that Wappa could not retreat through 3 members and escape past the turret. They knew that he was stuck where he was, and if they went for him right away, that was risky. Instead, they pushed down the turret, eventually chased him out once they got their cooldowns back up, and Wappa just had no option, no chance. NubbypoohBear in the middle lane, trying to pick up ROBERTxLEE, but he can't get the positioning down, and his kick also not available, so only applying a bit of DPS and taking some in response. Luckily, he is a bit tanky. I do wonder if that tanky build will work out, because we normally don't see tanky Lee Sin. It's usually very all-in split push.
You can go for a tanky Lee Sin and then go for like a Last Whisper and kind of get some of that armor penetration, some damage from it. But full tank Lee Sin kind of works out. You have a slow, you have a little bit of damage.
Rather than going for, let's say, the non-stop split push, you're a big teamfight presence as tanky Lee Sin. The attack speed debuff is amazing on Lee Sin. I think it's 60% at max rank, so Tempest Cripple will be a huge spell if it lands on someone like Roberto, who is very dependent on auto attacks despite the damage from Boomerang Blade.
True. Very true. We'll see how it pans out. He's going for Sunfire. He'll be able to split push. Maybe going to get the Ravenous Hydra to follow up and get even more sustain. We'll see. BrokenShard can go towards that empty red buff. The dragon has spawned. It is live. Nobody currently rushing over to do it just yet, as blue buff going to go over to Wappa. And there is a big wave slow pushing up top that will eventually come into effect as it does reach the tier 2, unless someone comes to clean it off. Blue buff goes over to Salce again, and he will be going back to farming this mid lane.
Now the question is going to be, what's the next play for TBD? The dragon's back up. Do they farm up for Kassadin, or do they let NID try and make the next play? They already had that cool gank top lane. You can feel some of the pressure from the control. And actually, Napkins in disguise roaming towards mid lane. Can Jordan get a catch? Not quite.
No.
almost in range for Bubbadub. He does have flash available, but the problem is you don't want to flash as Annie and just catch out the support, especially Bubbadub, who would probably survive the initiation, get his ultimate off, and then we'll have, something that we've seen from TBD in the past, where one team moves forward aggressively and then just gets chomped on down as they use all their initiation skills and have nothing available once the fight really breaks out.
Yep, and if you don't have those skills on Annie especially, it'd be very crucial. We do see Salce pushing down this mid lane, while up top Arthelon kind of getting his push stopped out there by NubbypoohBear. Has a 2-level lead though, going in fearlessly, just dropping the Null Spheres. While it does look like BrokenShard and team did solo out that dragon up top right now, NubbypoohBear and Arthelon just going back at it. NubbypoohBear is still down. It's going to be the Rift Walk back in as well as the Flash, but no Ignite to chase this one out. He's going to slow it down, get the Null Sphere, and pick up the kill in the 1v1 as Wapachang now coming in for his shot. As one by one they will walk in and fall. While Arthelon winning out these trades very easily, gets a double kill, gets a double buff, and showing why Kassadin is something to not be fought.
Kassadin is on permaban in most games for a reason. I mean, NubbypoohBear, unfortunately, with tanky Lee Sin, he can't really trade out Arthelon, and he can't necessarily escape him either. He'd have to use quite a few wards to be able to disengage from Arthelon. And Arthelon, because he has built that Rod of Ages, could very easily tank through Lee Sin's damage. And Wappa, kind of the same thing, where, alright, Elise does a lot of damage, however, he doesn't have any spell penetration, and as a result, that base value, while high on Elise in terms of damage, is not able to really chunk through Arthelon and his passive, and that tankiness from Rod of Ages. Arthelon is doing quite well for himself. It's got to be feeling A-okay because, well, he just got a very, very easy 1v2. I mean, towards the end there, he just sat there auto-attacking, and that damage from the Nether Blade is actually quite high. It could be an extra 88 damage on auto-attacks.
So strong, that extra magic damage. But now we do see him going back up towards NubbypoohBear, maybe looking to pick on him again. He is just a blind monk trying to do his things and farm up. But Cassidy does not care because he's an assassin. And a meanie, as he is still chasing down NubbypoohBear. Looking for the slow. Resonating Strike comes in. He's just going to lay in some auto attacks. But this time Wapa's here. 2v1 comes in effectively. This time he... Wow, Riftwalks through the cocoon. And it will be popping the flask. It's going to be a kick into the wall. Wapachan comes in with the bite. Can Arthelon get out this time is the question. It looks like Neurotoxin Flash. And a shutdown over to NubbypoohBear.
Alright, they fight one at a time. No success. Power in numbers.
2v1 this time.
As NID deciding, alright, let's set up the 1v1 2 in a row. We'll go for the 2v1 1 in a row. And if we don't win there, then I don't know what they would have done. However, Cassidy almost got out of there, but now Arthelon going for it. Large Rod going to be either going for Zonia's NubbypoohBear 1v1 versus Westrice, but Westrice just has a bit too much damage. A slight experience lead, level 10 versus level 9. And that's actually all Rengar really needs to survive against the Lee Sin. Then factor in his Sunfire Cape and his Ruby Crystal. It's just a little bit too much tankiness, and Lee Sin just does not have enough damage. I feel bad for Nubby because he's in a really rough situation. This is a difficult champion to play, and a very difficult situation. How do you survive Cassidy as top lane Lee Sin? Even building AD is very scary, because Cassidy can just sometimes burst you down immediately.
I think he's dealing with it just fine. He even picked up a killing spree. He's got a Sunfire Cape now. He's got a red buff to try to deal out with Westrice here. As the push continues, Arthelon comes back in the mid lane. He's like, alright, I'm done trying to 2v1 up top. I got one win, I lost one. So he's going to be content with a 50-50 chance at 2v1ing. Goes on top of Salce, Riftwalk, and everything to just burst him down to below half HP. And the dive actually from West, right?
Just scaring them. Pops the ultimate, says, I'm here, be scared, and then walks away. The thing is,
sending a message.
It's not about using the ultimate. It's about sending a message. And Salce, he is low enough where he's at risk of being dove on very easily. Hyolyn is now low enough where he can very easily be picked off by Arthelon, by anything really. And even though Salce can very easily respond to, let's say, a Vi ultimate, now he's got to worry about the poke more than anything. And he also can't initiate himself, does not have a Zonia's finish, so this is pretty desperate, or a pretty desperate situation for NID. If they get poked a bit more, if they go for an engage, they're gonna die. They have to just try and bait TBD underneath the turret into a full-on dive.
If that dive does come through, though, it could be interesting to see Salce's ultimate react to that. It could hit multiple members and be very, very disruptive to the whole team fight. Binding, almost reaching out of Robert, but I'm pretty sure he has Spell Shield anyway. And Westrice is going to walk back on up top, clear out the rest of that wave. Cassidy following up there, Arthelon looking to tag along. There is wards placed out, so they do spot them out. And the blue buff now spawning does get pinged on by BrokenShard as he wants to maybe try to steal this one away and give it over to Arthelon.
Hyolyn, a brave Hyolyn walking towards Cassidy actually forces him out. TBD have broken up. Salce no longer in the mid lane, so they could try and go for a dive. The assault and battery from Vi is not stoppable at this point, but it's okay. They're just going for the push, going for the map control. Definitely, they don't want to overcommit to any sort of pressure. I do like that decision. They don't have necessarily the most reliable siege team like we've seen from, I believe it was VVV in Game 1, nor Coast in Game 2 with their split push. Westrice up top lane takes a lot of damage from NubbypoohBear, who has finished his Hex Drinker. A lot of extra damage coming out of that as a result, and might be able to survive Cassidy now.
Yeah, but Frostlicious, on the other hand, not going to be able to survive Cassidy. He's forced to use that Relentless Pursuit away, forcing out the bear. Is Arthur going to go back in for a sneaky little Null Sphere here? It looks like no. And he will just rift walk back towards the tier 2 and help BrokenShard take the turret, and they do get it. As now he's going to go back in onto Wapa and just blow him up, as the Assassin is now here and ready to fight. Westrice and NubbypoohBear going back at it. Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, looking for a Tempest Cripple to slow him down just a little bit. But Westrice is kind of sustaining back up really hard in this fight, but so is Nubby. He's going to turn around with the Dominus, gets Ignite Drop on top of that one, and Cassidy teleporting in from the side lets the auto attack go through with another blade and picks up the kill as Arthelon just being merciless to NubbypoohBear.
I mean, Westrice had the mind games. Arthelon teleported up as well just to get back to the fight faster. Like, I really like that style of play, just going for the mind games, going for the baits, especially with a spell like Teleport. And unfortunately, Arthelon, every time he lands a poke, actually BrokenShard going for initiation.
Wow, gets the double knockup, but They will actually look to turn around here. They pop the Talisman of Ascension. They get a Tipper Stun on BrokenShard. Salce can't find the spot to go in for the ultimate. Arthelon gets no slow off for that right now. BrokenShard just backs on up. They play it smart, hug the wall. Now Arthelon going to look to come back around here. Wapachan coming in. No Cocoon. He's hanging out in the Wraith Pit, saying hi to his brothers, and just riff walking right back out.
I gotta say, every time Casting lands a combo, like I made a joke about sending the message earlier, that's actually all he needs to do. He doesn't need to get kills necessarily. Eventually he will. That's the scary thing about this. But every time Arthelon goes in for a combo and takes, Frost Delicious down low, every time he takes Salsa down low, it doesn't really matter that they're not dead, because they're effectively dead. They're going to be at solo HP that if they stay around in a fight, they'll get picked off immediately. And what do people do when they get low on HP? You go back to base, you go back to the fountain. And that is 8 seconds of recall for Frost Delicious, 8 seconds for someone going back to base. They still have to roam back to lane. And at that 20 or 30 seconds or so, where it's going to be a 4v5 and the map control is just in favor of TBD, that is when they're applying all their pressure. That is when they're getting control of the map. It's a really cool style of play. It's not about picking up kills. It eventually will be, because Arthelon will get enough damage to do so. But it's about applying enough pressure where you chunk down someone low and you get so much control out of that in that brief space of time. Before they heal back up.
And in a free space of time, we do see the dragon going down and pings onto Wappa as they want to chase him out. And with 4 kills, we do see 2,000 gold currently for Arthelon. Is he going to pick up a death cap? Is he going to get anything else sneaky? And it will be a death cap. So now he's hit that threshold where his burst, not something Frost Delicious or Hyolyn or Salce can really deal with. Unless they get a perfect Black Shield.
Oh, we got a perfect Black Shield, yeah. The Black Shield is actually huge in this game, too. It can stop Arthelon's silence, Arthelon's damage, Assault and Battery, or Nectin Stun. There's a lot of physical CC that TBD could apply that Salce's ultimate would just block the CC for, not necessarily the damage. BrokenShard gets hit, actually might be taken down here.
Arthelon comes from the side, just one-shots Hyolyn, and he is no longer a threat in this fight. Giant growth in onto Bubbadub. He's going to let the chase go on to Frost Delicious. ROBERTxLEE picks up Wappa. The Morgana ultimate comes through. Zonia's. He had 5 members in it, but only hits 3 as the rest flash out. He's out of mana, out of cooldowns. He will fall to BrokenShard. As now the turnaround to NubbypoohBear is there, and Westrice will pick up that kill as the ace for 1 in favor of TBD goes over to them, and now the tier 2 turret will fall.
I mean, that was a very, very clean fight for TBD. BrokenShard does go down, but the thing is, Arthelon able to instantly burst on Hyolyn, just nothing. Nothing they could do about that. The only option Hyolyn would have had would be to be far back, not pop the ultimate, not try and pick up BrokenShard early on. That was a bit of a desperation play. It's like, alright, we caught the tankiest member of TBD. Well, actually, I guess the second tankiest, as Westrice himself is just a beast right now. It's like, maybe we can burst him down, maybe, but unfortunately not quite enough. So as a result, Arthelon goes in, immediately destroys Hyolyn. There is no follow-up CC. The surrender comes out, and they know they're done for. Arthelon is just too scary now.
Alright, so Napkins to this, guys. 23 minutes, surrender comes through. They know they can't beat anything else, and they will just give up the game. So that's going to be it for Game 3 for tonight. Sadly, they didn't think they could come back, so Napkins to this, guys, will lose out here to TBD. And we will move on to Game 4 and be back. Enjoy the music. We'll be back with Game 4 when we're all set in the lobby, and see you soon.